Hello and good evening. This is the UN podcast. This is my man Ricky and the new adventure. All the trio is all back together again.
Yay.
All right, so we're gonna have a discussion about the third episode of the Daredevil. It should be interesting considering how nobody's watching it.
Because it's so much the Marvel's so damaged right now.
Yeah, it's half the audience of Ahsoka.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, sure. Like,
Well, you can include me as part of that list because I haven't watched it yet. Although I actually want to.
We have to remember too, it's been 7 years since Netflix third season. So
yeah, so now that everyone's talking about superhero fatigue or whatever, no, it's just bad product fatigue. So, and this particular episode is they're doing the whole court drama thing, and it's like you didn't really miss much because not much happened.
yeah, it's basically like foreshadowing and shit.
Yeah, it is the setup for whatever's gonna happen later in the season, especially the ending. So we got one no watch. And so what was your impression of this week's episode?
It was pretty boring, but I kind of understand it. But at the end, it was pretty kind of like it gives you more excitement. Like what's going to go on for episode 4?
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with you. I was kind of bored, but it was a good lawyer show thing. There was some aspects of it that was kind of like, really? But we'll get to that in the spoilers. So, yeah, I thought it was cool. So let's get into the spoilers for this particular episode. Gotta put the spoiler on. All right. So basically, this episode is the trial of White Tiger. And the witness that they got in last episode, like they hit him in a little thing.
Nikki Flores.
Yeah. And all right, Elton, if you saw the fight that happened in the last episode, the fact that the dude, one of the cops, just kind of had a black eye, it was like, nah, bro. The fight that you showed us, he was dead. There was you were not surviving that. Bro, he flipped him on his head and he landed. So this is his head, right? So he landed with his head did that, and his feet were above his shoulders like this way.
You're talking about Officer Powell.
Right.
Ouch.
Like, bro, yeah, that dude did not survive that. The other dude, he beat the crap out of these two dudes. There was no way he survived this. Like, not no at all. Especially to be able to basically the next day, he walked up on him at the courtroom.
At the bathroom.
Yeah, in the bathroom in the courtroom saying, you're a blind man that can fight. Now,
and that's the guy that was using the Punisher tattoo, remember, on the wrist.
Right. So you're a career police officer. You have a blind man who beat the shit out of you and your partner, and one of you had a gun pointed to his head. Not only was he able to get the gun out of your hand and beat the snot out of both of y'all, and he just like, hey, you're a blind man that can fight, and walked out of the bathroom. You would figure you'd be at least a little bit curious about that. It's like a little bit. It's like, how the hell did you do that? You're supposed to be a detective. Just
It's like whatever, right?
Yeah, I'm like, you're a crooked cop, dude, and a blind man just whooped your ass. And then you just let him walk out of the bathroom with his cane. Like, nothing happened.
I think that's what they messed it up right there. Like, they should have made it sound like rather than fight, they just walked out from the apartment rather than fight. It doesn't make no sense that they don't notice that he's blind.
Right. Because they know he's blind because they said...
No, I know, but he got their ass kicked by a blind person.
Right. And he just, like, the cop didn't care. So I was like, okay, whatever. So he talks to the cop. The cop who he beat up goes on the stands. while he's sitting on the stand, he asked him about the snitch. He said, I don't know the guy. And that was that. You're a cop. You're sitting on the stage. You don't let no other body know that this dude just whipped your ass, even though he was like, you have to tell why this happened or whatever. I'm like, you're already lying about everything else.
Under oath.
Right. You think he cares about that? He lied. He lied under oath. So you think he cares about like who's gonna believe? It's like this is a world full of vigilantes, people with superpowers. You had like the blip. You had so everyone knows about the Avengers. You got like Norse gods, the Hulk running around. So this would be something like, hey, you know, something's going on with this dude, and you will let all the other cops know.
But didn't the guy Nicky Floyd was an informant too?
Right.
He was an informant for them, but he also lied that he didn't know him.
Right. So you see the cop that he has on the retired cop that he has on retainer is watching after
Cherry.
Right, with somebody else. He gives him a little bit of drugs so that he can kind of smooth himself out. And they bring him back to the court to bring him to the courtroom. They do the little ball shuffle thing where you think he's in one thing, but you find out he's in another.
But didn't the officer was the other one, right? Officer Powell was trying to prevent him from getting there.
Right. So it's like, okay, and that's why the whole thing threw me because he seemed very nonchalant about the fact that this blind man just beat the crap out of him. He just acted like it's nothing. He continued with his crooked cop shit. And it's like, all right, so the guy, they bring him into the courtroom, and he sits on the informant sits on the stands and looks him in the face. As he asked him, do he know the cop? And like the situation, why he wound up where he was at and all this other stuff, like, were you there? And do you know them? The whole this, that, and the other. And then he looks at the stand where all the cops are sitting at, and you see like there's one of the cops who has the tattoo of the Punisher skull on the side of his neck. And there's like a bunch of them in there who are looking at the guys like if you say anything, we're gonna beat you up. So the guy lies and says,
I don't think beat you up. They maybe kill you.
Well, yeah. Tune him up, whatever, right? They can't really kill him that quick because it'll look quite suspicious if he just all of a sudden just dies. So they could tune him up because then it could be anything that could have happened to him. But if you kill him...
because he heard him, right? Murdoch heard him. He was here when he was hearing him.
Yeah. So he with his super hearing, he heard him say, but he can't survive this or whatever. So they're kind of screwed because that was their only thing out. Because then it's back to he said thing. So Matt decides to switch up the thing and just he lets the cat out of the bag that like what's his name again? Hernandez or
who? Hector Ayala.
Yeah, Hector. Well, that Hector
White Tiger
is White Tiger. And then he parades a bunch of people who he's helped over the years.
And he mentioned Morales, right?
Yeah.
The dad of Miles Morales, Jefferson Morales, the officer.
Yeah. So
it's already foreshadowing, huh?
Well, I mean, they already did that in Spider-Man when Donald Glover is the spoiler. And that's his brother, so they already showed that. Because he said my nephew is a fan of yours, Miles. So they already dropped that hint like a while back.
That's the uncle, right? Davis or something.
Right. So that's his uncle's a spoiler, and he was also dressed up as a spoiler in the second Spider-Verse movie. So like he was he was actually dressed like it was him. So everything else is cartoon, but it's him as live action in a cage dressed as a spoiler. So it was a nice little Easter egg.
Hey, just a question. The one he beat up that black guy in the beginning of the one that was giving informants to what they call them? What's that black guy that was like a snitch? Is that the uncle?
No, because they've already
that's separate.
No, because they've already established that Donald Glover is a spoiler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did it in Spider-Verse and they did it in Spider-Man. So no, it was just another. So like the thing that happened at the beginning was the families are starting to fight with each other because the Kingpin is being the mayor, and he's not letting his wife control
No
or
big
keep it
bosses.
right. So because he has to stay away from that, but they did foreshadow when he was trying to stay out of it, and they showed his knuckles because this is what happened when they showed his knuckles, which were bloody from punching something, and then they transitioned over to Matt in the bathroom, and that's when he had the conversation with the cop. But he was wiping his hands off from his bloody knuckles too, to show you that like Kingpin is up to something. You just don't know what it is.
No, of course,
Right. So the families are fighting with each other, and he's trying to squash it by not being attached to it. And his assistant, who seems to work for both him and her,
Cashman.
right? And he paid off one of the guys, and
that for the retribution for stealing their whatever happened. Yeah.
So because he's trying to like y'all need to chill. It's like we're trying to. I'm doing something else. So he got like a bigger hustle that he's trying to do. He's like, I'm doing something else. Y'all got to chill. And he can't really intimidate them. So it's like they're trying with money. He's like, all right, here's what you owe him. Here's this. Here's a check for it. Just drops 1.8 mil like it's nothing. All right. And even then they started to get, because again, the only thing that was keeping them together was the Kingpin. And then they're back to squabbling with each other. So that adds a little bit of foreshadowing as to what's going to happen in the future as well. So we go to the trial. They both give their speeches. Like when he announced that he's the White Tiger, the judge is pissed because he already asked the judge to not let that information in. And by him switching it up like that, he pissed off the judge and he pissed off the district attorney, who basically tells him, I'm boss of 20 different ADAs, and they're gonna be all in your ass from now to eternity because you did this. Like,
so that's somewhat like you were watching court TV on this episode,
right? So this episode was basically LA Law. It was with superheroes. And so the testimony first, his wife was like shocked because I don't know if she didn't know or whatever. So she was shocked that he's a White Tiger.
And then the niece was there, the one that becomes White Tiger.
Yeah, and so it's like, but through all the testimonials and all the good that he's done, she started to like, okay, I understand all these things. So we go to the trial jury. At the end of the trial, basically Matt's final what is it at the end of the trial? What is that called?
The verdict?
No, not the verdict. Well, when the lawyers get up and they do their final little pitch. I forgot what that's called. But anyway, so he basically.
I'm not a law guy.
Yes. Yeah, I can't remember. So he was like, I showed you all these actions of this guy who does stuff for the right reason. This is not the kind of guy that would kill a cop. The people who he helped knows it, and the cops know it. And he points at the cops. So the cops are all like, they're all restless and whatnot. Goes to the jury, deliberates, comes back. No, not guilty on all
charges.
All charges. He's able to walk out, and at the Chiron it says White Tiger gets off, all charges dropped or whatever. The Kingpin sees this and he's pissed off because he feels a way about vigilantes, given how many of them have beaten him up,
and they're claiming that they're cop killers.
Right. So he's a cop. That all that and this, that, and the other. So he is. There's a montage at the end where he's talking to Ben Urich's daughter. I think his daughter or granddaughter. I can't remember which one. And he's telling her about how dangerous vigilantes are. And as he's doing this whole montage, White Tiger is getting dressed up in his costume, and he's going to go out for patrol. He goes out on patrol.
But remember that Murdoch told him that after this trial, he can't be White Tiger no more. But he insisted that he has to do it.
Yeah, because it's a calling. And he goes out.
Daredevil is not doing anything right now.
So he goes out, and he hears a noise in the alleyway. He runs down the alleyway, and as he steps into the intersection, he's looking left. Somebody steps out from the bushes, pop, right in the head, hits the ground. The dude who does it turns around and walks towards the camera, and it's a white skull on his chest.
I don't think it's Frank Castle. It's one of those police officers they look up to Punisher.
All right, so it's either him or because vigilante cop kill and all that stuff.
But it doesn't make no sense, right? Like Punisher will not kill a vigilante. He kills people that does bad stuff.
Nah, he's gone after vigilantes before. So
no, I know, but I have that feeling it's not him. It's one of these officers.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've said. Is like, but I was going to say is that it's either they show you the skull, you don't see his face, so it's either it's like hey, is it him? Is it not him? And it cuts off.
So you think he's gonna come out this season?
No, he's in this season. It's just a matter of when you're gonna see him. So if it's a copy, then that will draw him out because somebody's pretending to be him, or it's him and he believed what they said on the news about him killing cops. But I'm not too sure about how the Punisher would actually feel about cops in general. So it's kind of like, all right, but it's
he don't like cops.
All right, so it's a nice little breadcrumb into the next episode. So overall, even though it was a little boring, it's a lot of court drama type stuff. It is left me enticed enough to wait for the next episode,
especially the end.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's so. Has that enticed you there, Elton, to actually watch it?
Not so much from that review you just said, but from the previous stuff you were saying, like not necessarily from the episode, but from the series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is the cop walking around with nothing but a black eye is like, dude, that that dude is either paralyzed or dead. There is no way he survived that. No, if you actually watch the fight, they're like, dude, there's no way he's like, none at all. Neither one of them. He killed both of them. He smashed them and smashed their head into the wall, all kind of crap. He just totally dismantled these two dudes. There is no way they survived that. But those are my only biggest gripes about how the fact the cop doesn't seem to care that this dude did that. But he did. Good.
Elton, have you watched the Daredevil, the 3 season for Netflix or not?
I haven't.
Check it out. It's pretty good.
That's a lot of TV watching, dude.
That was a while ago, right?
I mean, just you don't have to watch all season. Just watch like a couple episodes. It's pretty good.
That was a while ago, right? Like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Or
it's 2016, the first season, I believe.
Oh,
so I don't know. They still are hinting that the other ones are gonna come back. So there's even one of the articles that is talking about Shang-Chi 2. And
the first. I remember I watched the first movie.
Yeah. All right, so let's check out the Lilo and Stitch trailer. It came out before. The ratio is not too bad in terms of likes to dislikes. There's some people who have some, but after we watch it, then we can discuss some of the issues people have. All right, here we go. Not you.
We have apprehended a dangerous experiment. Where is he?
He escaped.
He's trying to find the police cruisers.
He took the red one. What hideous planet is caught in your crosshairs?
Shooting star! I wish for a friend. Like a best friend.
What the hell?
He's so cute and fluffy.
He is your responsibility. Got it.
We promise.
Yeah.
Down from there.
Look like an angel.
No. Control him. Hey, what are you doing?
Walk like an angel.
No. Dogs on the table.
You sure that's a dog?
Yeah.
Rough.
Ew. We are not keeping this thing.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind.
Or forgotten.
Stitch that.
Sometimes family isn't perfect. That doesn't mean they aren't good.
And
That was close. I don't think you're supposed to drink that.
Agent Cobra Bubbles, we have a blue dog to catch.
no, wait.
No. I'm gonna give you to the count of 3, Stitch. 1.
All right, yeah, dude, that is literally almost shot for shot. There's a lot of like from the actual cartoon. There's a lot of scenes that are basically live action, or we shouldn't call it live action because it's not CGI versions of the actual movie. So like, I love that movie, so I am going to check it out. I did enjoy that
Same,
trailer.
Yeah. It looks good. I mean, yeah, like the design of Stitch, I think it looks good.
Yeah, they even put
I won't be surprised it makes like $1 billion, you know? It's all this animation, they're making good money.
Well, the first one did pretty good, and it's an original story. You know, Disney, even if it is a like for like shot. I mean, like shot for shot version of an original story. So I don't know how that works, but looks cool. I wish they could have got your boy to be the agent though, Ving Rhames, but he might be a little too old right now. No, but he's basically that character, and they made him look like him. So Vance, I don't know, it should be good. And they even put the dude who just wanted the fat Hawaiian dude that just wandering around in the background. Yeah, they even put that in there. So it's like I'm hoping for more. It's closer to being Sonic the Hedgehog than anything else like that Disney has put out for a while, where it's pretty authentic to the story.
I
So,
think
should
what's
be.
good too, like, I'm just thinking about the Lion King. I think just the fact of like having human characters and like likable characters at that, I
Mhm.
think they're able to emote better. So I think I think the problem with all the live action remakes, they don't have the same emotional, effect. So I'm hoping this will have that. From the trailer, I feel like it will.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the whole thing about the movie, the original movie, was the charm for both him and the girl. So if the girl could pull it off, and being a lovable kind of dweeby little kid and like some of the issues that people are having is the skin tone of, and this is kind of stupid, but it's the skin tone of the sister. Like the sister's too light or something. It's a lot of like really dumb stuff.
How much was the budget for this?
I don't know. Let me look it up. I don't think it can't be too much.
It's Disney, so
Yeah, they tend to spend money.
something will be 100 million. There'll be like 300 million.
Yeah, I know.
We look at the Acolyte. They spend almost 200 million, maybe more.
I saw it as 150 million.
Yeah. So you're looking at another 100 for
I think they'll make like,
advertisement.
I'll say they'll make like 600, 700 million.
Yeah,
That'll given how the math of how this works, yeah, that'll make it a little. I think
Yeah,
it'll
'cause
make
you-
a slight
like you s-
profit.
Yeah, like you said, it's also the movie, but you have to remember the marketing, what they spend. That's aside from that too.
Well, given the fact that they haven't spent that much in marketing, we've seen a teaser. You see some stuff here and there. It's probably like you probably see it in front of kids, like especially Disney movies. You'll probably see the trailer in front of that. But it hasn't really been like a crazy blitzkrieg of
in your
advertisements for it.
face. Yeah, in your
Right.
face advertising.
Right. I mean, I think they've had more advertising for something that's going to be a huge flop, which is Snow White.
Like Captain America.
No, you know, Captain America too. So that's a flop, and Snow White is going to be a flop. So that hopefully this
Oh my
can make
gosh,
money.
I can't wait for next week. I'm just so curious, like how it's going to pan out. They've had no marketing whatsoever. No,
The Snow White.
Yeah, they canceled the red carpet.
Oh, but
The
you said that movie they had to bring it out because there's already been like in production, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Something they
yeah.
just have to bring out.
it is like all the DC stuff. Like they knew once they announced that the DC Studios was going to go in a whole different direction. Every movie they put out for DC was going to be a flop because it didn't build into anything. And each one of these movies was kind of set up to tie into something, but it would tie into something that was not going to exist anymore. So people was already into everything else before it kind of sucks. So I'm not really feeling it part. And it's the same thing with this, where the star has pissed off so many people who actively dislike her. Then you got the whole Israel versus Palestine stuff with the and, bro, it's just like, so you can't do red carpets because apparently those two hate each other.
Oh shit!
Dude, they can't even be. If
No,
you
it's
hate,
bad, Ricky, it's bad.
be cordial on a red carpet for a movie that's you're about to put out. Then you throw on top of that the dwarf community pissed off because you you make Snow White. You decide because Peter Dinklage says put you on blast that you're gonna do, like, you know, he's tired of the dwarf thing with the whole I've made it, so I'm gonna pull this ladder up behind me thing. So now you had the people making fun of what you were gonna do. So now you're trying to pivot backwards, and then now you got these scary ass CGI dwarves. So you got the dwarves pissed off because you could have just hired a bunch of dwarves, and you didn't do that, but you have CGI dwarves. Yeah, so this is this is a cluster of
I can't imagine how much money they spend on this movie too.
bro.
It has to be
And
at
then
least 200 million. Huh?
Gonna be
And
more
then
than dude.
don't
They
forget,
reshot it repeatedly.
Fuck.
Yeah, they did.
It's like
It's
they
like
just want
almost
to dump it. Huh? Just
like in
bring it out.
production hell.
Yeah,
No,
just
and
bring it out.
then
The hell with
They
it.
gotta put it. They have to put it out. Even so,
That's
this is
what I'm saying. It's like just a last call. Just throw it out there. Fuck it.
yeah.
and then the
So they
comments that are being said by Rachel Zegler too. Like,
good.
oh, I hated the original film. She said this, and that. It's Hollywood, baby.
These people are idiots, dude.
Uh,
It's like people have told you to stop saying this stupid stuff, but you're still going out at your award shows and talking bad about everyone who lives in between Los Angeles and New York. Like talking crap about everyone who lives in the middle. Like they're the ones who are going to give you money, stupid. Stop saying dumb shit.
I know.
Then you have an award season where all your movies that you're nominating for top spots are movies that nobody went to go see. So there's no, like, I have no reason to watch this because I don't even know anything about the movies and none of it looks interesting. So I don't know. It's gonna take. We got to go to 2 or 3 years of this stuff because they got to crank all this stuff out. because they've already paid for it. It's already been shot and all that fun stuff.
Budget, by the way, it's 240 million to
Do you believe in
approximately to 269 million.
Another flop.
Do you believe any of that? Apparently, Captain America 4 was only $180 million.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. You shot the movie 3 times. It's like I don't believe you. All right. So there is a report, and all of them are going through this. So there's a report now about Superman and how important this is to the continued existence of Warner Brothers. How they got to this point, I don't know. But
That's a lot
report
of
by the
pressure.
inside claims that the fate of DC and Warner Brothers hangs in the balance if Superman is not successful. Excuse me. We keep hearing that Warner Brothers is on such shaky ground that it might cease to exist as we know as an independent entity and one of the pillars of Hollywood. A new inside report that is definitely true, but they have a ray of hope. What is it? You can probably guess. The Superman up in the sky to save the day, and that's WB's hope anyway. Anyway, as nothing is really assured that simple. According to a source for Puck News, who allegedly has inside knowledge of the system, take that with a grain of salt. Studio is pulling all their chips behind James Gunn reboot. It is not just a Man of Steel they're banking on, as CEO David Zaslav has mentioned in the past. Warner puts a high value on the DC IP on the whole. They wanted that to be a money-making attraction. It used to be so. Okay. Commas. Please put commas in your shit. It used to be so that they can be kingpins of major. Bro, what's all these articles where they don't seem to know how to do grammar good?
Man, they don't do editing, man.
Run-on sentence.
Bro, this is a huge run-on sentence. Kingpins of major blockbusters and superhero cinema again with a leg up over Marvel, which reports. Meanwhile, Gunn and Safran are busy with a little project of their own. Superman July release has now taken on an almost incalculable importance to Warner Brothers Discovery. If Warner's can't finally make the DC franchise work, there is genuine fear that the studio will go the way of Fox, which is swallowed by Disney in 2019. DC is an important component to the stock price, which could tumble if the brand proves irrevocably unviable. And essentially, an essential element of the stock price is believing that the IP of DC is meaningful, says Puck's source. Big Bad, they can show it. All right.
When is the movie coming out?
In July.
Oh.
Wow, this the DC IP really dictate that much of Warner Brothers as a whole?
It is something.
Well,
I kept telling you, all these companies need to make money.
Yeah.
So if you keep continuing to put out flop after flop after flop, then people are going to be less inclined to want to give you money. And that's the rumors. And they keep putting out like, all right, okay. So I don't know if they did this. So this was a flop. And the Joker was a flop. This is that F1 thing, so they're hoping that makes money.
Yeah, I didn't even watch Joker 2.
No.
I didn't either. It was so bad from what I heard.
I mean, the first one was okay, but I didn't.
Oh, I don't know. I love the first one a lot.
Okay, so this is what they're banking on. So Superman 25, James Gunn shares the first image of the movie's villain, not Lex Luthor. One of Superman's other villains took the spotlight in a new social post. On the way to DCU kickoff movie is set to introduce the audience to not just its titular hero, but several other superpowered beings already existing. What the hell?
Already exciting.
That's not how you spell existing. Dude, what the? All right. A part of this one.
What is this?
No, this is another article. So this is the engineer. Part of it include a bevy of DC supervillains taking on a Man of Steel outside the movie's primary big bad, Lex Luthor. First look at Superman's The Engineer. Fans got a first look at Superman's big screen villain outside of Lex Luthor, thanks to a new image from director and DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn. James Gunn took to social media to honor the anniversary of DC Comics. Big Bad The Engineer with a sneak peek at the character's first ever big screen appearance in the 2025 movie. The picture in question is Maria Gabrielle a DC character who was actually the first villain cast in the film, laying on the grass of a large stadium in a black skin-tight battle suit, looking as though she went toe-to-toe with the movie's titular Kryptonian. This person who nobody has heard of.
I haven't.
Me neither.
Happy Anniversary to the Engineer, created by Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch, who you can see be played to sinister perfection by puppy in human form Gabby. I'm not even trying to say that. It's expected that while an engineer may not be a DC villain with the level of notoriety as Lex Luthor, she would be surely be a formidable force in July's Superman film. What is the most interesting about this first look at Maria Gabriela de Fada? What the hell? Take on DC character seemingly missing one of the big bad's most distinguishing traits, her liquid metal exterior. All right, if your goal is to make money, having Superman fight anybody else but people, something that normies have fucking heard of, is not the way to go. You have watched movie after movie with a boss chick in it fail over and over and over and over and over again. And what does James Gunn does? He pushes Lex Luthor to the side and has this freaking female character that nobody heard of fight Superman.
Is that because maybe they're making them? You think so?
No,
Maybe somebody is making them do that.
This is what happens when you hire a bunch of DEI idiots who are more concerned about the message than anything else.
But I'm talking about James Gunn.
He's part of Hollywood, dude. They're all into the.
Then it's gonna flop then.
She would have to be the greatest villain anybody's ever seen. No, I'm serious.
There's a lot more villains in the Superman universe than Lex Luthor, right? That they could have picked.
Yes. Bizarro, Brainiac, friggin'
Brainiac,
dude, there's a large list of. You pick somebody nobody's heard of.
Yeah, I haven't heard of.
You decided to make Batman instead of having a Batman movie where you introduce Dick Grayson, where you can start him out as a teenager and then you can have 10 years of that kid, because if people like him, then he can become Nightwing, and then you can introduce all the other Robin. But no, you decided to go with the one that you like, which is Damon Wayans. I like Damon Wayans. Most people don't. Right? They don't. They do not like that character. He's an obnoxious little crazy person who kills people. A lot of people don't like him. But what did James Gunn don't care? That's what he likes. You're gonna put out a movie with the Authority before you do Justice League with gay Superman and gay Batman. That's the Midnighter and the other dude. That's basically what they are. They are gay Superman, gay Batman, and who are in a relationship. Nobody has heard none of these characters, but that is your first group, well, your second group, because after the monster dudes. So your next group is going to be the Authority, who nobody's heard of, and then you're banking everything, the continued existence of Warner Brothers on that. You announced the Harry Potter stuff. One of the first characters you announce or that gets announced that is people think is going to be hired is a black dude who is playing a guy who's described in the books as very pale with straight lanky hair. You pick a handsome black dude to be Snape. You got John. I like John Lithgow, but he's Dumbledore, so he's going to pretend to have a British accent. Is that what we're doing? So you want your company to fail? Like, like seriously. There's plenty of evidence of stuff that if you give people what they want, they will give you fucking money.
It's psychology. It's psychology.
Bro, like, all right.
It's 101 economics.
All right, let me show you something. Okay. This is something I was going to talk about like on video or something, but this is Counter-Strike 2, which came out, I don't know, like freaking 15 years ago or something like that. All right. This is people playing this game right now. 1.4 million people.
Wow.
With a peak of 1.8, like at 3, like when this was taken, it was like 3 hours ago. They want to give you money. They really do. But you can't have the Penguin come out, be a smash hit, and you decide that you're going to push off the Batman that's tied to the Penguin, which was a smash hit 2-3 years down the line, when all the buzz from the Penguin will have dissipated. They keep making dumbass decisions after dumbass decisions after dumbass decision. It's actually pretty amazing.
Well, they're gonna make the Penguin season 2, right?
I don't know. Who knows? James Gunn is James Gunn is just like Dave Filoni. I am just interested in my own damn characters, the things that I like.
Yeah.
Who cares what you like? It's what
That's
people want.
most of their attitude now.
Right, but it's the people who want to give you money. That's who you should care.
Maybe saying, what the fuck? I'm already doing this shit. I'm gonna retire. The hell, I'm gonna do what I want.
Apparently so.
Hey, fuck it.
Yeah, right. You're gonna make you making a Superman movie that has a villain nobody's heard of, that's girl boss, that is probably gonna be talking shit to Superman, and she's just gonna be better. She's gonna be like Ray, and you already saw the trailer where she's basically beating him up.
I didn't see that part.
No, there's in the trailer. No, you don't see who it is. All right, so you don't see who it is, but he's getting beat up, and at the beginning of the teaser, he gets knocked out or whatever, where where Crypto, who doesn't look like Crypto, who basically looks like the dog that James Gunn.
Is that where he's all bleeding like in the snow? Oh, okay.
Right. So, but Crypto, the dog, is basically the dog that not the dog that he adopted, but it looks like the dog that he adopted. So he made Crypto look like that. So this is the mentality of this dude. So
Shit,
I like this dog.
I might not even go watch this shit.
Like, I like this dog. So therefore, even though Crypto doesn't look nothing like this, I'm gonna make him Crypto because I like this dog. I like this type of dog. So he's getting beat up. I don't know. Maybe he's getting beat up by the chick. You think people are gonna be feeling that? Mm-hmm. Another dude getting beat up by a woman. and you're betting your entire studio's existence off of this.
That's a gamble I'm not willing to take.
It's absolutely amazing. It's amazing to watch. I'm astounded by it, to be honest. You could have made a mint load. They could have backed the truck up for Harry Potter if you would just made Harry Potter look like freaking Harry, like the books. That's what all the fans were asking for. Just take the books and make it into a television show. That's all they wanted. But no, you had the virtual signal and race change because you wanted to look like what London looks like now. London is a shithole filled up with all different types of people who aren't British, who just live there. So you decided to make Harry Potter that because reasons, and you expect that the fan base should just accept it. When we have proven constantly that doesn't happen. See, look, you was excited about the Superman movie until we started really getting into what the hell is going to be in it.
I mean, the couple of DC movies, they sucked, you know?
Yeah, because they're not making them for DC fans. It's the same problem with Star Trek. It's the same problem with Star Wars. It's the same problem with everything. They're not making it for the fans. They're making it for themselves.
What's the next? They're gonna mess up Lord of the Rings in the movies now?
Oh wait.
No, the movie, not the series.
Oh, it's like same thing like we were talking about with James Bond. They're gonna make a female James Bond, regardless of the fact
Oh
that the
my
fans
gosh, I didn't think
do
about
not.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fans do not want this at all, and are very, 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 very vocal about that. Very vocal.
What they promised they were not gonna make a James Bond swap, gender swap.
No, the person that they got rid of, Broccoli, and the other, they said that. Amazon has no problem with that. They took a beloved franchise, The Wheel of Time, that actually has like female antagonists and protagonists and male, like, you know, kind of even ish, where there's a few guys who are more powerful than the women, and somehow made that premise even more woke.
Oh my god,
Bro, they hired a bunch of people who do not care about the source material, who do not, all they want to do is put out whatever their message is. Like,
don't worry, Rings of Power season 3 will be coming up in a couple of maybe next year.
bro,
Oh
I mean,
really? Like at this point, like they're just writing
No,
their
they're gonna
own,
do
like,
it. Season
fanfic.
3.
yeah,
It's
they don't-
confirmed. Season 3.
Like
Don't-
these
they don't care.
producers and
Yeah,
screenwriters, they're just
yeah,
doing a fanfic.
yeah, they don't care. They don't care.
I might just watch it just for looks so stupid.
Bro, if I'm the CEO, look, if I'm the CEO of a corporation and I see that the people that are like Disney, same thing. It's like, although they are changing a bit, like they forced them to take out the gay elements in Inside Out. Like, no, and the people who did it were pissed off about the fact that they did that. I'm like, well, it's just supposed to be a story about a little girl. Is it? You don't have to throw sex into it, like, at all. Like, none. But no, because for somehow, you know how these things work. Two guys can't just be friends in movies. You can't have mentors anymore. Somehow everything has to have some kind of weird sexual element to it, even though you're talking about children.
You think Marvel's gonna do it?
What?
Marvel is gonna start changing too.
They
a little bit, but it still seems like they still want to put those girl bosses.
But you gotta remember, all this stuff was already done, so they gotta clear all this shit out, and then they still exist in Hollywood.
I can't believe you watched Echo.
It was so bad.
I didn't bother watching this
bro,
shit.
It was so stupid, bro. Yeah. It was so stupid. What annoys me about internet, when they go back into the past and they show something from the past and they show a girl boss in the past, I'm like, no, that wouldn't have happened.
You heard about that? The one that they're trying to make the like Avengers with all these girls? You heard about
A-Force. Yeah, A-Force.
Good luck with that movie.
No, do you remember the part in Endgame where they got to where somehow all the women was all in the same spot, and the amount of people who went boo when that happened?
Yeah, Wakanda. What was it?
Yeah, it was all the women just somehow magically appeared in the same spot on the battlefield, and they did their power walk towards the screen. And the theater that I was in,
could see that a big ass flop. I could also see that movie.
But the thing is like the theater where I was at, and I've heard other people say this, when they got to that scene, people booed. They don't want this. You can make like strong, powerful female characters but not like what they do. They have no flaws. The men can't beat them. I'm like, that's not you did that with Captain Marvel and everybody hates her. Dude, when Thanos punched her into space, everybody cheered.
She disappeared.
Right. She got punched into space. Everybody cheered when Thanos did that.
I didn't even watch her movies, the one that came out. I didn't bother watching that shit.
You know what? You want to know what's funny is up until that point, what Marvel prided itself on was the fact that all the directors got together, and whenever they brought one of their primary characters into their movie, they asked the directors like, "All right, so how do I use him or her? What are like? How did they act? How would they react to this situation, and so on and so on, so that they make sense in their movie, so they don't act any different from they would in any other." The folks who did Captain Marvel did not do that like at all. Didn't talk to nobody, just wrote whatever they wanted to write. So therefore, you cucked all the male characters. You turn Nick Fury into a weakling dude who gets his eyes scratched out by a cat. Just the fact that he got the name of the Avengers from her, because that was her call sign or whatever when she was a pilot, was the Avenger. All right, so he got the name from her. She was just awesome. She was awesome from the beginning in the movie. She just didn't realize how awesome she was till the end of the movie, and then she realized how awesome she was, and she beat everybody. That was her character. That was her character
the movie in a nutshell.
Yeah, that was her character arc. At least they cut out the one scene where she robbed somebody. Yeah, she robbed a dude. For some reason, she needs a motorcycle. So this dude tells her to smile. So she beats him up and takes her jacket and his motorcycle because he asked her to smile. This is like, so this was the beginning of all of that. And then you get to Shang-Chi. So that's the next article we look at. The Shang-Chi, where he's supposed to be the most prominent martial artist on planet Earth. He routinely gets his ass kicked by his sister, who just watched him train and was better than him.
I forgot about that movie already, man.
She kicked him in the balls. He just, it's like,
didn't he fight his dad or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. That's been a while already.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be the mandolin, or he is the Mandalorian. I said that wrong. The Mandalorian. That's who he's supposed to be. The 7 rings or whatever, and he's a
like the Protector.
No, he is a Iron Man villain. He's yeah. So they put. There's so much stuff in that movie where they just change things because it like Elton said, it's fan fiction. That's all this shit is. Okay. So there's a rumor. Okay. So Shang-Chi 2 will introduce the Agents of Atlas and Iron Fist. Which is weird because they've already introduced Iron Fist, and it's kind of interesting how they see the Netflix stuff. Because like with Daredevil, they're treating it as canon, but I don't know how they are doing with everything else. Okay, it's registered a new production company in the UK named Atlas Hall, which is basically what they do is. When they're filming something in United Kingdom, they create a production company and they give it a random name, but a name that has like a pun of whatever they're doing, and that is what they use to make movies with in Britain. That's kind of how it works. So that's one of the things when they can get an accurate like budget for it, because they have to be accurate to get the tax credits for that, and it's all public. All right, yeah. So yeah, you ever see anybody talk about the actual numbers of how much these movies cost? That's how we know that Disney has not made a profit on Star Wars. Seriously. Oh, if you look at all the movies together and how much they all cost to make and all those, yeah, they haven't made a profit. So they actually made, after you spend all the money, less money than they paid George Lucas for. It just shows you how great a business person Kathleen Kennedy is. All right, so the speculated agents of Atlas related project or even Thor 5, seeing as Thor Love and Thunder ended by setting the stage for the God of Thunder to battle Hercules. All right, Love was condemned by Zeus to hold up the heavens for eternity. We'll see if there's more revealed in the coming months, but the site has also shed new light on Shang-Chi's future, and he might just be tied to the mysterious production company mentioned above. The character played by Simu Liu hasn't been seen since 2021's Shang-Chi. The sequel, tentatively titled Shang-Chi and the Wreckage of Time, was expected to be tied into Kang's story, but never officially announced. Dude, I hate they do this. All right. Dude, it's annoying. Every time you get to this part, it lights up and everything goes black. I'm like, stop doing that. The site has heard that Liu will reprise the role in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars after being called upon to join the fight by current Sorcerer Supreme Wong. So they're going to stick with that. From there, Shang-Chi will get another solo movie featuring the Atlas Foundation as potential villain. The stage will be set for the Agents of Atlas to be formed. In the comics, the Atlas Foundation was a secret organization formed by the descendants of Genghis Khan. Isn't that pretty much a like 10% of Europe now? No, I'm serious. I think like 10% of Europe has Genghis Khan DNA or something.
Oh yeah, because he has so many kids.
Yeah, because he got around a lot. Not in a nice way.
You're from Asia to Europe.
Right. So,
and India.
They're worldwide.
Yeah, so it could be anything. Their goal was to continue the Mongols' empire legacy by conquering the world, and they did so by creating a complex criminal organization of all his children. Jimmy Woo was destined to join their ranks, but his parents took him to safety in America. He ultimately defeated the group and took over, using their network to form the Heroic Agents of Atlas. Okay, I've never heard of that. One of the themes in the sources from were post the impact of Win Wu's death following the events of the first film. His sacrifice, as well as the change in the chain of command in the organization, with Xia Ling taking over, would send ripples across the criminal organization worldwide. Still, none would be more interested than the Atlas Foundation, according to their source. With the sources inform us, the Ten Rings has developed quite a rivalry. Oh, this sounds like a lot. Dating back as early as the 13th century, when how would you even explain this to people? Like, seriously. I'm not confused, but I'm like, what the hell? 13th century, Genghis Khan rules of power, conquest of China and India. When Wu and China would have been mortal enemies, and their armies would have waged war for decades. And just allow me. Okay, what the hell? It's like I'm not reading anymore of that. That's confusing as shit.
I didn't get it.
All right, so the descendants of Genghis Khan was fighting the ancestors of Shang-Chi. Okay, why should I be interested in that? Any capacity? Like at all? Like why?
I mean, Genghis Khan history is pretty cool about it, you know? How he conquered and all this stuff.
Yeah, but
especially in China, that was pretty cool. The wars.
Right, but look who's gonna write it.
Oh, that's a bit. Yeah, it depends who writes it.
Yeah, and it's like just reading that, it's like, dude, that's a lot. Like, do I got to do like history homework to even figure out what the hell's going on? It's not complicated. It's not complicated. He's a master of kung fu. He kicks people's ass.
I think he reached all the way towards Venice, right? He reached basically almost to Venice.
Probably. So you're gonna have a movie. It actually made. I think it made X money, like a little bit, but it actually made a profit, unlike every damn thing else. So you're gonna take a movie that kind of made a profit, that has a bunch of elements people don't like. It has a lead actor who is kind of a asshole. So you could potentially have another Rachel Zegler on your hands.
Oof.
All right, because he says dumb shit. He does. Actively dislikes half the country. The people in China think he's ugly.
I heard about that.
Right. So so it's like
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. So the people in China think he's ugly. They think if I remember correctly, they feel that he is what Americans think is attractive, but they don't. So it's like they took it as a weird insult or something. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like a weird thing. So he's not going to be able to benefit you in China if that's what your goal is. China is starting to make enough money on their movies, but they aren't really interested in outside movies as much.
In Hollywood, yeah.
He said something that pissed them off, so that movie didn't even get released in China. So I don't know why you're making this. Nobody's begging for Shang-Chi.
Yeah, it's also those Korean, Japanese movies are pretty cool. Netflix.
Yeah. The current it thing right now is something I've been telling Elton about. Excuse me, called Solo Leveling. It is a Korean webtoon mangwa. Can't even pronounce it right. That is hot. Like no, it was adapted by Japan as an anime, and it's really good, and it's super popular right now. So there's a lot of stuff coming out, and so I saw today that they're looking into making a bunch more of them into animes, like Japan is, because it's like really, it's an interesting story. It's kind of unique, so it's something new, and so I don't know. Marvel can't seem to make anything work because they refuse to accept the source material for what it is. Like they can't make a Blade movie. So you get buzz. You get buzz from one of the biggest movies that you put out in years, and you still have an issue? They finally agreed to a script on Blade. Most people see Wesley Snipes as Blade. So instead of fast tracking a thing that people seem to be very interested in, the Logan version of that of Blade. So instead of making that this year and having it come out next year, you just let it go out into the ether. So it's like
I just have a feeling they just don't like Wesley Snipes. That's just my feeling.
You need to make money. It doesn't matter if you like him.
Yeah, but I'm talking about them. They don't care.
Give the people what they want.
Dude, remember I told you about Star Trek, about how the third season of Picard, the people who are running Star Trek over at Paramount they got a bunch of pushback from second season of Picard, so they let this dude do whatever he wanted and got out of his hair. It's kind of like the with the Mandalorian. They didn't think it was going to work, so they just hands off kind of thing, right? So Picard 3 comes out. It is a love letter to the next generation. They bring all the characters back. All the characters they brought back from the from the next generation, they're in a place where they would kind of be if like the series continued on. There was no weird shit that they were doing, none of that stuff. So dude didn't do anything weird with none of these characters. Where they were at is someplace that they would probably be, right? So no failures, none of that stuff. You introduce Picard's son. He had a son with the Beverly Crusher, but they had a kid. He acts like a younger version of Picard. The guy who's playing him, super charming. You reinvigorate the character, some of the characters that people acted kind of like from Picard, and then you do this whole thing where you have a ending of it where you bring damn near tears to the eyes of the fan base. You give it's a fitting send off for the next generation, right? Better for them than most of the movies were, right? But at the end, you establish a new crew of descendants and people who knew the original crew. They're about to go off on a 5-year mission on a newly christened enterprise. When it goes off, people are like, "Oh man, I can't wait for them to make this. This is going to be awesome." And like people who are running Star Trek, We're gonna do the Starfleet Academy and start like Section 31, whatever. That's what we're gonna do. Your fan base wants this really badly. Nah. It's like it's absolutely amazing. It's amazing when you watch this. Kathleen Kennedy, same shit. They don't want a brown haired super woman who steals everything from everybody else. They don't like their character. But no, we're gonna make like 4 movies of her.
That's like they're talking about Andor season 2. People are already complaining about it.
Right. It's because it is very simple. Just like I showed you with Counter-Strike. You give people what they want, they will give you money. It's not complicated. Shang-Chi, Kung Fu Master beating up the hand. Kung Fu Master fighting ninjas. Fighting undead ninjas. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Blade.
Those ninja movies are bad, man. I used to watch all those ninja movies back then.
Right. So imagine your character that nobody heard of, but he's a Kung Fu Master, is fighting undead ninjas who are trying to take over the world in the underground. You can bring in Daredevil. You can bring in Iron Fist. You can bring in a bunch of people who were already on Netflix that are tied into that world. So then you could bring them in as cameos. So you go get the people who played them, put them in the movie. You take if you want to go with people of color, you got Blade, who's half vampire, half human, fighting vampires. It is not complicated. You go get the dude who directed John Wick or whatever to make me a friggin' you make this movie, and then when you finish with this movie, you make this movie. Do all the John Wick scenes, except now you got undead ninjas, and you finish with that, you go right over to vampires. At most, you spend 110, like 120 movie, $1 million on each one. Because all it is one dude beating the crap out of a bunch of stuntmen. You ain't gotta you don't gotta do no weird ass extra dimensional stuff. You gotta do none of that stuff. They don't gotta go out into space.
Marvel, you listening?
Bro, what is the most memorable scene from the first Blade movie? Them in a meat locker. Like, how much did that cost to film?
And they're playing club music.
They
Right.
made two movies, right? Of the Blade. There was 2.
No,
of
there's
them?
3.
3. I can't remember all of them.
Those 3?
Yeah, the third one was kind of forgettable because
No, yeah, I didn't remember.
they took elements from the first one. It was like a whole power struggle between Wesley Snipes and the people who wanted, because they were trying to introduce. See, this was the beginning. It was the kind of they did elements of, we want to make a franchise, so we're going to use your movie to make a franchise. So they were trying to make Ryan Reynolds and I forgot what her name is, into another franchise. So it turned into Blade was kind of a side character in his own movie because they were trying so hard to introduce Ryan Reynolds as this dude. And so Wesley Snipes felt the way about that. So that part of the issue and all that stuff, which they don't really say when they talk about how he was acting on that movie, because he was kind of pissed about that. And I would be too if, like, I'm the reason why these things are working, and you trying to shove me to the side because you're trying to introduce this other thing. So yeah, I'm like, dude, I wouldn't be coming out of my trailer either. I'm like, y'all can kiss my ass. Like, I'm not coming out here. I'm not making you like. No, it just. But you see this over and over again. It's like they hire, like, we're watching them kill the Halo video game series. We're watching them kill all this other stuff. And this is the final story is, what is this thing I was no. Oop. Okay. This is the thing that I was telling you about. All right. Unreal Engine's MetaHuman tool may be behind the man jaw and a growing trend of masculine and female characters in gaming. A recently surfaced developer video is shedding new light on the issue that many gamers have noticed, but few have fully understood why so many modern female characters in video games appear to have exaggerated masculine features like the dreaded squared off man jaw. And a game developer speaking under anonymity. Oh, said that wrong. Anonymity. Still said it wrong, but it's provided evidence to YouTube Smash GTV that points to Unreal's MetaHuman character creator as a source of the problem. The root of the issue, the MetaHuman's character generator, anonymous developer, blah, blah, blah. Okay, said that again. I don't know how long this. How long is this?
The gaming industry has been grappling.
That's like 14 minutes. So, but this revelation, I may check that out. Suggests that many studios relying on MetaHuman may inadvertently using these default templates without necessary adjustments, resulting in masculine female characters that stand out in ways that players find distracting. The developer describes the process of uphill battle for artists trying to create distinct, aesthetically appealing female protagonists. One of the most striking takeaways from the leaked video is the consistent structural elements in the MetaHuman's female-based models, featuring such as strong jawline, broad facial proportions, and a lack of softer, traditionally feminine traits seem to be the default settings. This has led to a growing number of masculine and female characters in modern games, raising concerns among players and artists alike. Beyond the facial structure, body proportions, and the MetaHuman's female models also raise questions. The developer notes that the default settings often produce characters with minimal curves and indistinct silhouettes in proportions that deviate from what has historically been in a stylized or idealized game design. This raises important question: is this unintended flaw in the technology, or is it part of a broader industry shift? Epic Games, the company behind Unreal Engine, has positioned itself as a leader in digital realism. If questioned, their likely response would suggest that these models are designed to reflect more inclusive range of appearances. Take that with a grain of salt. However, critics argue that the reason doesn't hold up with considering how male characters still retain their broad shoulders, chiseled features, and athletic builds. If realism were truly the goal, why is the balance so skewed? It's a concern that's fueled ongoing discussions about the increasing presence of masculine and female characters in gaming. All right. An issue. Character design influence how players connect with them. The types of stories can be told. The broader appeal in gaming itself. The default tools available to developers lean towards a particular style, whether intentional or not. It shapes the final product in ways that may not align with audience expectations. The gaming industry has long thrived on its ability to create visually distinct, engaging characters. If major development tools continue down the path where female character models start at an androgynous template, it could further shift the industry away from artistic diversity that has traditionally been celebrated. This has led to an increase in masculine and female characters that feel out of place in certain game worlds. The call to change. The developer who shares this information about hopes that bringing attention to these issues will encourage. All right. Yeah, I call bullshit on this. I think I'm gonna check that video out and react to it. Probably, I think I'll react to that Wednesday. That'll be my Wednesday video. But I call bullshit because Asian companies don't seem to have this problem. Some of them actually use the Unreal Engine. So this is, yeah.
I think it's just a lack of foresight by the people making the game. Like they just, or maybe they are trying to push an agenda, they don't double check their characters at all before they release the game.
My question is, why is your default female character not an idealized version of a woman, but more of a, let's be honest, a transgender looking person? That's what their default seems to be. That's why all the characters look like they do. So I'm like, yeah, okay. It seems I call bullshit on this.
They're trying to push something.
No, dude, all you have to do is look at the people who work on the games. And you'll get it. One it'll be all women, and then they'll be like one of these things don't look like the others mixed in there. They had one, it was a Fable or whatever. I forgot which game it was. the character looks suspiciously like the one of these don't look like the others people who worked at the game studio. So you telling me is that they looked at this? No, I'm like, hold on, let me go back to that screen. Sure. All right, so you telling me that they looked at this? So it was Outlaw. They looked at that, and everybody was like, "Yeah, that's fine."
That's
Look at that.
great.
That went through a whole bunch of people. That went through, and from what I've seen today, and I read something else on this. The people who do the what's the word I'm looking for? Damn it, I hate being old. Who do the like when they design the initial design of the characters? They don't look like that. They look like women. But that's what they come out. So you trying to tell me that they're
Maybe they got paid off.
No, character design. So the character designs, they don't look like that. The voice actresses don't look like that. If you go look at like Horizon Zero Dawn, the first version of Aloy looked like just a tomboy, like an attractive tomboy girl, who through the next two games looked more and more like a man. And then the DLC for the third game, like for the DLC for the second game. So the DLC for that. Remember when I was telling you about how I was playing it, and then I realized that I was on a lesbian date?
Yeah.
Like whole romantic thing that was happening. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, I do not want to be I'm playing a game. I don't want to be on a lesbian date. I'm like, why are you putting me on a lesbian date? Cut the game off, uninstalled it. I'm serious.
Right then and there.
Yeah. Cause I don't care that there are elements in this game that if you go that route and you chose those choices and you wind up in that position, I don't care, because I'm not gonna do the things that leads up to that particular outcome, right? I wouldn't try to hit on nobody. But you decided that she's a lesbian now, and I'm gonna go on a date with a girl boss character who could do everything that you can do. She just as well. Like, why are you forcing me to do this? No, like in Mass Effect, you can have a gay relationship in Mass Effect. I think, yeah, from the first game, you can hit on one of the dudes. You can hit right if you're playing as female Shepherd, you can hit on any of the women, and then you can have a lesbian.
That'll be one game I won't be playing.
No. What I'm saying is you can do that, and like you can tell that when the questions, the responses come up, there's one of the responses that lead more into the romantic side. So if you don't choose that, eventually they just stop offering that to you because you're not going in that direction. But if you chose to go there, then there's like a whole other dialogue tree that you will see. But if you don't do that, then you will never see that. That doesn't bother me at all. If they decided back then,
you have.
Go ahead. No,
No,
say what you're gonna say.
No, that's true, because like if they're gonna force the storyline on you like that, it's like, well, I didn't sign up for this.
Right. I just want to play a game. I don't.
Yeah, not be like just drowned in politics and thinking.
Right. The whole point of this game is I'm chasing around mechanized dinosaurs and killing them. That's all I want to do. I don't want to go on no damn date. But like when I played Avowed, I played as a guy. The first female that I meet, there was no option for romance at all. Nothing. All right. So like, okay. So then you go there and you talk to this person, talk to that person. The first time I meet a actual male human, one of the options is romantic. So I'm like, what the hell? I've already talked to 2 women in the game. No option for romantic. Actually, 3. No option for romantic. Nothing. the first dude I see, that's an option. I was like, what the? Like, bro, stop that. Stop. You are not helping your cause in any capacity, like at all. When you look at like when they do like polls and all that stuff, the acceptance for the alphabet community is actually going down because of this, which is probably pissing off the ones who don't want to want to have anything to do with any of this culture war stuff. It's probably
To begin
pissing them
with.
off,
Yeah.
right? Because they don't like. Because you can see that. Just like I can't get upset about people making black jokes and whatever. Is like because it's like a constant whining about every damn thing. Did you see in all kind of shit? Like, shut up. Your life ain't as bad as you think it is. But if you put that in everything, if you burn it down cities and you don't, I'm like, bro, there is a repercussions to everything that you do. Everything. You may not be doing anything, but is enough other people are so loud about it that is causing problems. So, that's my 2 cents. I don't believe that this is a mistake or it's a default settings or whatever else BS that they're trying to say. I'm like, no, you did this. People are not accepting it, and they clearly want something different given how popular Marvel Rivals is. And like, there's a new game, Monster Hunter. And what's funny is they have an actual transgender person in that game. But all the women look like women. They even have a warrior woman. She just looks like she look like a not necessarily a bot. So she don't look like a man. She just looks like a in shape female warrior. But she don't look like a man. She got like a short hair. No, she doesn't. But that's been the case. But that is an Eastern game. If it's a Western game, she would look like she'd been jacked up. She would look like a dude, but she doesn't.
Broad shoulders.
Right? No, she just looks like a attractive.
Jaw.
Yeah, she don't have a square jaw. She looks like an attractive female who's in shape to be a fighter. That's what she looks like. That's how she's built. And it's the difference between an Eastern game and a Western game. She would look like a man. You look like Abby from The Last of Us. But I digress. So I've been basically ranting this entire episode.
Tough out there, man.
No, look, I get that these are all first world problems. It's not real problems, but it's still annoying. So I am about to go chill out. So what you guys are going to get into as we end this particular episode?
Same, probably.
Ricky, you just going to sit there in your dark room looking like
I'm not working tomorrow anyway, so I'm just chilling.
You're looking like the Darth Lord over there. I'm going to start calling you Darth Ricky.
Darth Ricky.
Oh, I got my Darth Vader poster over there.
All right. Well, on the behalf of myself, Eltone, the Noob Avenger, and my man Ricky here, we're the UN podcast, and we're out. So later.
Peace.
See ya.